Good morning students. Let us continue with the lesson agriculture. Today in this video we are going to learn about rubber, fiber crops, cotton, technological and institutional reforms. Let us begin with rubber. Rubber. It is an equatorial crop. Now what is equatorial crop? Crops that are grown in regions with high temperature and high rainfall. Such crops are found in regions near equator. So rubber is an equatorial crop. But under special conditions, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. Rubber requires moist and humid climate with rainfall of more than 200 centimeter and temperature above 25 degrees Celsius. So you need to remember this. Rubber requires moist and humid climate, rainfall of more than 200 centimeter and temperature above 25 degrees Celsius. In short, rubber requires high rainfall and high temperature. It is an important industrial raw material. Rubber is an important industrial raw material. It is mainly grown in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Here in this map you can see rubber is mainly grown in Meghalaya, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. In the year 2010 to 11, India ranked 4th among the world's natural rubber producers. So it may be asked for your objective questions. You need to remember this. In the year 2010 to 11, India ranked 4th among the world's natural rubber producers. Now let us learn about fiber crops. Cotton, jute, hemp and natural silk. So we are going to learn about fiber crops now. Cotton, jute, hemp and natural silk are the 4 major fiber crops grown in our country. So you need to remember this, students. So which are the major fiber crops grown in our country? Yes, it's cotton, jute, hemp and natural silk. The first 3 are derived from the crops grown in the soil. So cotton, jute, hemp, these crops are grown in the soil. And what about natural silk? Silk is obtained from cocoons of the silkworms fed on green leaves, especially mulberry. Here in this image you can see silkworm, cocoons and mulberry leaves. Silk is obtained from cocoons of the silkworms fed on green leaves, especially mulberry. Students, do you know what is sericulture? Rearing of silkworms for the production of silk fiber is known as sericulture. Now let us learn more about cotton. Cotton. India is believed to be the original home of cotton plant. So our country India, it is believed to be the original home of cotton plant. One of the main raw material for cotton textile industry. Cotton is one of the main raw material for cotton textile industry. In the year 2008, India was second largest producer of cotton after China. So in the year 2008, China was the first largest producer of cotton in the world. And our country India was the second largest producer of cotton in the year 2008. Cotton grows well in drier parts of black soil of the Deccan Plateau. So black soil is favorable for cotton crop to grow and black soil is found in Deccan Plateau. So cotton crop grows well in drier parts of black soil of the Deccan Plateau. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. So you need to remember this. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. Cotton is a kharif crop and it requires 6 to 8 months to mature. The main cotton producing states are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Punjab, Haryana, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. Here in this map you can see the major cotton producing states: Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana. Now we are going to learn more about jute. Jute. Jute is known as the golden fiber. Students, do you know why jute is known as the golden fiber? Jute is a natural fiber with golden and silky shine, and hence it is known as the golden fiber. I hope it is clear, students. Jute grows well on well-drained fertile soils in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. Now, floodplains is an area of low-lying ground adjacent to a river formed mainly of river sediments. So, jute grows well on well-drained fertile soils in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. It requires high temperature during the time of growth. The main jute producing states are West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha and Meghalaya. Here in this map you can see the major jute producing states: Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya, West Bengal and Odisha. It is used in making the gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets and other artifacts. Now let's view the images. Jute is used in making of the gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets and other artifacts. Due to its high cost, it is losing market to synthetic fibers and packing materials, particularly the nylon. Now, why is it that jute is losing its market to synthetic fibers? Yes, due to its high cost. So, you need to remember this, students. Due to its high cost, jute is losing market to synthetic fibers and packing materials, particularly the nylon. Is that clear, students? Now we are going to learn about technological and institutional reforms. Agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained uses of land without compatible techno-institutional changes have hindered means hampered, have hindered the pace of agricultural development. So what has led to the hindrance in the pace of agricultural development? Yes, it is the sustained uses of land without compatible techno-institutional changes. In spite of development of sources of irrigation, most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture. Students, irrigation facilities are available, but most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility of the soil to carry on their agricultural activities. And what happens due to this? The productivity is quite low. If the farmer uses irrigation facilities, the agricultural productivity would be more. For a growing population, this poses a serious challenge. Agriculture, which provides livelihood for more than 60% of its population, need some serious technical institutional reforms. Now, why is it that agriculture require some serious technical institutional reforms? Yes, as it provides livelihood for more than 60% of its population. Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation and abolition of zamindari, etc. were given priority to bring reforms in country after independence. Now, what is collectivization? The process by which farmland is aggregated is called as collectivization. Now, what is consolidation of holdings? It means to bring together different pieces of lands and merge them into one land. Now, why is it necessary to bring together different pieces of lands and merge them into one single land? Yes, because when a farmer cultivates crops in a small piece of land, the agricultural productivity is quite low. And if the farmer cultivates on a large piece of land, the agricultural productivity would be more. Is that clear, students? Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation, and abolition of zamindari, etc., were given priority to bring reforms in country after independence. Land focus was the main focus of the first 5-year plan. Right of inheritance had led to fragmentation of land holdings. Here in this image you can see the fragmentation of the land holdings. Right of inheritance had led to fragmentation of land holdings, necessitating consolidation of holdings. The laws of land reforms were enacted, but laws of implementation were lacking. So laws of land reforms were enacted, no doubt, but laws of implementation were lacking. Steps taken by government in agricultural reforms. Now let us learn about the steps taken by government in agricultural reforms. Government of India embarked upon introducing agricultural reforms to improve Indian agriculture in the 1960s and 1970s. Green Revolution, based on use of package technology, and White Revolution, Operation Flood, was some of the strategies initiated to improve Indian agriculture. Now let us learn more about Green Revolution. Green Revolution refers to the introduction of HYV seeds. HYV seeds means high yielding varieties of seeds and increased use of fertilizer and irrigation methods. It was aimed at providing increase in production to make India self-sufficient in food grains. Students, do you know what is White Revolution? The revolution associated with a sharp increase in milk production in the country is called as White Revolution. It is also known as Operation Flood. But this led to the concentration of development in few selected areas. Therefore, in the 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated, which included both institutional and technical reforms. Provisions for crop insurance against calamities like drought, flood, cyclone, fire and disease. Establishment of Gramin Banks. Here in this image you can see Gramin Bank. Establishment of Gramin Banks, cooperative societies and bank for providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rates of interest were some steps taken by the government. Now let us see some other steps taken by the government. Kisan Credit Card. Here in this image you can see Kisan Credit Card. The main objective of Kisan Credit Card is to provide loans to farmers at a low rate of interest. So Kisan Credit Card, Personal Accident Insurance Scheme are some other schemes introduced by the Government of India for the benefit of the farmers. Special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for farmers were introduced on the radio and television. The government also announces minimum support price. Now let us try to understand what is this minimum support price. The minimum support price is an agricultural product price set by the Government of India to purchase directly from the farmer. So the government also announces minimum support price, remunerative and procurement prices for important crops to check the exploitation of farmers by speculators and middlemen. Speculators means traders. So why is it that government announces minimum support price, remunerative and procurement prices for important crops? Yes, to check the exploitation of farmers by speculators and middlemen. So I hope you all have understood, students. Now it's quiz time. Which one of the following is announced by the government in support of a crop? Option A, maximum support price. Option B, minimum support price. Option C, moderate support price. Option D, influential support price. Yes, students, which is the correct answer? Yes, it's option B, minimum support price. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. Raising of silkworms for the production of silk fiber is known as option A, sericulture, option B, aquaculture, option C, horticulture, option D, pisciculture. And the correct answer is option A, sericulture. Very good. Next question. Which of the following is known as golden fiber? Option A, cotton, option B, jute, option C, hemp, option D, silk. Yes, students, which is the correct answer? Yes, it's option B, jute. Jute is known as golden fiber. Very good. Now let's do a short recap. Today in this video, we have learnt about non-food crops, rubber, fiber crops, cotton and jute. We have also learnt about technological and institutional reforms. I hope you all have understood the topics covered today. Students, we have given you economics project on the topic consumer rights before vacation, right? I hope you all have completed your project. If not, you need to complete your projects and keep it ready by 18th of August. We will let you know about the submission dates when you have to submit and the email ID in which you need to send. Okay, so keep your projects ready by 18th of August. Is that clear, students? Meet you in the next video. Till then, bye and take care.